The Milky Way galaxy is spread out over 105,000 light-years, which means there are bound to be a whole lot of exoplanets out there. Scientists estimate that there are at least 100 billion planets in our galaxy alone. To put things into perspective, if you had 1 billion oranges, you would be able to fill up an average-sized football stadium. Now, that's just 1 billion. We're talking about 100 times that. So far, only about 4,000 of those planets have been discovered and studied. Even within this limited selection, we've managed to find some bizarre yet fascinating planets that are a testament to how diverse our universe can be. Employing a broad range of tools, scientists have mapped out their locations, compositions, orbits, and the inevitable question of whether they can support life. Before we dive in, let's clarify a few things. An exoplanet is a planet that exists outside our own solar system. As previously mentioned, in the past 20-odd years, scientists have discovered numerous of these celestial bodies, primarily using NASA's Kepler Space Telescope. Exoplanets come in a variety of sizes and orbits. Some planets are very close to their parent stars, while others are rocky or icy. Some researchers, including those at NASA and other space agencies, are focusing on locating particular planets with unique characteristics. They're looking for planets that look like ours and orbit a celestial body that resembles our Sun. Planets like this need to be located in an area called the habitable zone. The habitable zone is a region situated around a star where the temperature of a planet permits the existence of liquid water oceans, which are crucial for the existence of life as we know it on Earth. The original idea of the habitable zone was just about the right temperature on a planet. Now, it includes lots of other things too, like the way a planet's atmosphere can trap heat, known as the greenhouse effect. Because of these additional factors, the boundaries of the habitable zone are not precisely defined and can vary. Astronomers had a hunch about the existence of exoplanets even before their confirmation in the 1990s, all thanks to the sluggish rotation of stars like our Sun. This peculiar characteristic of our Sun, with its mass greatly exceeding that of the planets, intrigued scientists. They thought that a strong magnetic field in the early stages of the Sun connected with charged particles in the swirling gas cloud from which the planets form. These connections acted as anchors, slowing down the Sun's rotation while spinning up the gas. This process, called magnetic braking, explains the Sun's slow spin. Since many stars like our Sun also have slow rotations, astronomers thought that magnetic braking might happen in other star systems, which would mean that planets are common companions around Sun, like stars. Thus, their conviction of exoplanet existence stemmed from their understanding of the Sun's behavior and its implications for planetary formation. Alright, so now that we understand the basics of what we're looking for, let's dive straight into some of the most bizarre exoplanets that scientists have come across in the past couple of decades. For the past 20 years, scientists have been finding planets around stars that are similar to our Sun. However, even before that, we knew about planets outside our solar system, and they were very different from what we expected. One example is a planet that orbits the remnants of a supernova explosion. The first exoplanet ever discovered, nicknamed, is tiny, slightly bigger than our Moon, and it orbits a pulsar, which is a type of neutron star. According to NASA, pulsar planets like Poltergeist and its neighboring worlds, Phobos and Draugr, are consumed with constant radiation from the star's core. Nothing but the undead can subsist in this most inhospitable corner of the galaxy. Really creepy, if you ask me. Located in the constellation of Virgo, scientists discovered this planet and others in the system in 1994 after they noticed the gravitational pull they had on their parent star. Pulsars are known as the most accurate clocks in the universe. They keep time very precisely. There was, however, a slight variation in the beat of PSRB 1257 plus 12. Subsequently, it was determined that two planets, the aforementioned Phobos and Draugr, including this one, were responsible for the alteration. Later, a third planet was discovered, and there were some claims about a fourth planet, but those claims were taken back afterward. This planet is exceptional because it's the first one we have a real picture of. We are usually unable to take direct pictures of exoplanets. We need to use other methods to study how the planet's weight affects its star's light or search for small changes in the star's brightness when the planet passes by. However, this planet, called 1RXS J160929.1-210524b, is different, located near a star approximately 456 light-years away in the constellation of Scorpius. It's bigger than Jupiter and relatively young, which makes it easier to see directly. Before this, we had only seen one other object directly, and that was probably a brown dwarf, not a planet. This picture was taken in 2008 and was the first time we saw a planet with our own eyes. Now, with better telescopes like the James Webb Space Telescope, we can find even more planets by directly imaging them. In 2020, a planet called TOI 849b was discovered by NASA's TESS, or Transiting Exoplanet Survey Satellite, and it's not a nice place to live. This planet is incredibly close to its star, completing one orbit in just 18 hours. It has no air, and the extreme heat of 1530 degrees Celsius would melt everything. Well, everything we know of. About half the mass of our own Saturn, this planet orbits a sun-like star more than 700 light-years from Earth in the constellation of Fornax. What's even more interesting about TOI 849b is its unusual characteristics. Although it's about the same size as Neptune, it's made of dense rocks instead of gas. In fact, it's the biggest rocky planet discovered so far and is 40 times heavier than Earth. Scientists believe it could be the first ever detected Chthonian planet, which means it's the leftover core of a gas giant that lost its atmosphere. Fascinating indeed, and terrifying at the same time. Kelt 9b is an exoplanet that's like Jupiter, but is extremely hot, even hotter than many known stars. The celestial body is close to its star, which causes its surface to reach a scorching temperature of 4,300 degrees Celsius. Kelt 9b is tidally locked with its host star, which basically means that one side of the planet perpetually faces its host star and rotates around its axis exactly once during its orbit. If the Earth were tidally locked, the western or eastern hemisphere would continuously be facing the sun, while the other would always be in darkness, leading to no season. Temperatures on the sun-facing side would get hot enough to boil water, and the dark side would become frigid, with the only source of heat being the ocean circulation and winds from the sunny side. Yikes, that would be scary. Anyway, moving on, located about 670 light-years from Earth in the constellation Cygnus, the intense heat of Kelt 9b causes the planet's atmosphere to contain atomic iron and titanium. A year on this planet is shorter than a day and a half, which is surprising. Scientists looked at Kelt 9b with the Spitzer Space Telescope and found out that the hot weather on the planet's sunny side makes hydrogen gas molecules break apart. However, when they move to the cooler nighttime side, the molecules recombine. But once they return to the scorching side, they break apart again. It's like a continuous cycle of tearing apart and recombining hydrogen gas on this extraordinary planet. K2 18b, a planet with twice the size and 8 times the mass of Earth, has long been considered a possible Earth-like planet. In 2019, scientists made an exciting discovery. They found water in the atmosphere of K2 18b, located 124 light-years away from Earth. In the constellation Leo, this was the first time we found a rocky planet, like Earth, orbiting in the habitable zone of its star where liquid water could potentially exist on the surface. However, further research suggests that K2 18b might be more like mini-Neptune planets than Earth. These mini-Neptunes have thick hydrogen atmospheres, a watery layer, and a hard iron core. These planets have temperatures and pressures that are too high for life as we know it to survive. Recent studies suggest that K2-18b may have another possibility. The planet might be part of a third group of celestial bodies that seem to be composed of gaseous bodies, but are actually solid, rocky bodies covered in densely packed ocean. The water on these planets would exist at the boundary between liquid and gas, and be surrounded by a steamy water vapor atmosphere. Unfortunately, for now, we won't be able to go swimming on K2-18b. Classifying smaller exoplanets is tricky because we don't have similar planets in our solar system. We found many exoplanets that are bigger than Earth but smaller than Neptune. This makes us wonder how they are made and what they look like. We don't know if those planets are more likely to be rocky, like Earth and Mars, or if they become more like ice giants, like Uranus and Neptune. However, there is less debate about Kepler 11f, a confirmed mini-Neptune. Located around 2149 light-years away in the Cygnus constellation, its density suggests that it has a Saturn-like atmosphere with only a small rocky core. The discovery of Kepler 11f was made public on February 2, 2011, after additional investigations were conducted at various observatories. This discovery introduced a new category of planets called gas dwarfs that we haven't observed in our solar system. Although 51 Pegasi b wasn't the very first planet ever discovered, it was the first planet found around a star similar to our Sun. However, it was quite different from any planet we knew. Located approximately 50 light-years away in the constellation of Pegasus, this enormous planet completes its orbit around its star rapidly, only taking a few days. You might be wondering how many days. It's around 102 hours. That's about 4¼ days. The finding led to the discovery of many other hot Jupiters, which are big gas planets that are closer to their stars than Mercury is to the Sun. In 2015, scientists were able to study the atmosphere of 51 Pegasi b using visible light, which was another first, and in 2017, traces of water were discovered in the planet's atmosphere. Instead of just observing the planet's silhouette as it transits its star, scientists can now infer details about its mass and orbit by analyzing the visible light emitted by the planet itself. This might not sound as impressive as what we know about most planets in our own solar system, but considering that 51 Pegasi b is located 50 light-years away, this new information is valuable and exciting. Kepler 452b is considered the most Earth-like planet discovered so far. The star it orbits is similar in size to our Sun. Its year is slightly longer than ours, and it's a bit larger than ours. Importantly, it is located within the habitable zone of its star, where conditions could support life. Kepler 452b goes around its star at a distance of about 1 astronomical unit from its host star. This is about the same distance as Earth from the Sun. For those of you who are wondering, an astronomical unit is the distance between the Earth and the Sun. The orbit lasts about 384 days, and it has a mass 5 times that of Earth. It also has a radius 1.5 times bigger than Earth's. It is the first potentially rocky super, Earth. The planet is about 1,800 light-years away from the solar system in the Cygnus constellation. All of that sounds great, but you have to remember a couple of crucial challenges. Firstly, Kepler 452b is over 1,800 light-years away, making it impossible for us to reach it. Estimates suggest that at the speed of the New Horizons spacecraft, which is about 59,000 kilometers per hour or 37,000 miles per hour, it would take approximately 30 million years to get there. Secondly, it is 1.5 billion years older than Earth, which means its host star may have changed in a way that makes the planet currently unsuitable for life. However, in the past, it could have been very similar to our own planet, somewhat like a twin. HR 5183b takes quite a long time to complete its orbit around its star. It was discovered in 2019 and is a gigantic planet, 3 times heavier than our largest planet, Jupiter. Located 102.7 light-years away in the constellation of Virgo, it has a slow journey completing one orbit in a relaxed 74 years, much longer than Saturn's 29 years but similar to Uranus's 84 years. What makes it really weird is its strange path. It hangs out in the farthest parts of its system before swinging in towards its host star, getting extremely close, and then moving away again. This unusual behavior has earned it the nickname Whiplash Planet. Researchers also compare it to a wrecking ball because it could have a destructive impact on any other planets in the system that are peacefully orbiting in a more normal way. The discovery of the brown dwarf is noteworthy. It's located more than 310 light-years away from Earth in the constellation of Musca, and it orbits a very young star that is similar to our Sun, but only 17 million years old. This implies that the surrounding planets must also be very young. These planets emit their own light, which is quite unusual, since usually the light from the star makes it difficult to see the planets clearly. The Paranal Observatory in Chile spotted this exoplanet in 2020, making it a relatively recent discovery. NASA's writers do a fantastic job in describing this bizarre exoplanet. They write, "It might be a brown dwarf, a kind of failed star." That is considered neither a star nor a planet, but somewhere in between. Brown dwarfs are mysterious worlds, with many unanswered questions about their properties and appearance. They're too massive to be planets, but not quite massive enough to be stars. TIC 8998, 798, 760, 1b is immense, about 14 times the mass, or heft, of our own planet Jupiter, and likely 3 times as big around. The estimated temperature at its surface is about 2,600 degrees Fahrenheit, or 1,400 degrees Celsius. This object's extreme girth is unusual for brown dwarfs and could indicate that its youthful atmosphere is highly inflated. Another possibility, which can't yet be ruled out, is that it's really 2 objects orbiting each other, these in turn orbiting the star. NASA's billion-dollar James Webb Space Telescope has some incredible tools to scour the stars. One such instrument is the Near-Infrared Spectrograph, or NIRSpec, which has allowed scientists to study a planet called WASP-39b in great detail. It was discovered in 2011 and, in July 2022, became the first exoplanet to be studied by NASA's James Webb Space Telescope. Located in the constellation Virgo, about 700 light-years from Earth, they have found carbon dioxide in its atmosphere, which is a gas that we know on Earth. Carbon dioxide has been detected on a planet outside our solar system for the first time. Scientists can detect not only carbon dioxide, but also water and methane by analyzing the infrared portion of the transmission spectrum, specifically the range of 3 to 5.5 microns. These gases may be indicators of potential life, but that isn't always the case. WASP-39b is a hot gas giant with about 1/4 the mass of Jupiter, but a larger diameter, around 1.3 times greater. It orbits its sun-like star very closely and completes one orbit every 4 Earth days. The planet's temperature is extremely high, reaching about 1,600 degrees Fahrenheit, which sort of throws out the possibility of potential life, but you never know. The James Webb Space Telescope has made an interesting recent discovery about an exoplanet that is located around 100 light-years away from us in the Draco constellation. It was so recent that it was first reported in June 2022. This planet orbits a red dwarf star, and scientists discovered it because it causes a temporary decrease in the star's brightness when it passes in front of it. Based on the observations, researchers have determined that this exoplanet is about 70% larger than Earth, earning it the name Super-Earth. It goes around its star quickly, going around it once every 11 days. The planet's density suggests that it may have a deep sea-like interior and a mix of rocks and metals similar to Earth. Unlike the Kevin Costner movie Waterworld, what's surprising is that water could make up about 30% of the planet's total mass, which is much higher than the 1% of Earth's mass that is made up of water, even though water covers a large portion of our planet's surface. So, there you have it. Our galaxy has its fair share of mysterious and bizarre exoplanets, some we know of and numerous others to discover. Let's just say we're at the tip of the iceberg. What do you think? Which of these incredible exoplanets should be studied further? And do you really think Kepler 452b or TOI 1452b could support life? Let us know in the comments below, and as always, thanks for watching.